Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the M365 Voice. I am Sarah Haase.
And I am Mike Malrani.
And I'm Antonio Maya.
And today we have a very special topic. I think we're officially calling it Microsoft 365 Etiquette. That's the official title. The unofficial title is Stuff Mike Does That Drives Sarah Crazy. That's the working title.
Is long.
I don't know if I agree to this topic specifically.
I'm just teasing. No, M365 etiquette. In other words, the things that you wish that you could tell your coworkers that drive you a little bit nuts about things that they do in M365.
Yes.
So I was thinking we could maybe round robin it and come up with some ideas, but I have one to start us off.
Sure.
My number one etiquette faux pas in Microsoft 365 is people who send you an IM, an instant message in Teams, and they say hello. And that's all. And they wait for you to say hi back. And if you don't say hi back eventually, a day later, they'll send you another message, hello.
Oh, boy.
And they'll just keep sending hello, but they won't tell you what they want. Just please go ahead and say, if you're going to say hello, then follow it up with what you want, or better yet, put it all in one short message with what you want. Because especially if I don't know you, I'm assuming you're not saying hello just to say hello. Like if one of you wants to send me a message every morning saying good morning, that's great. But if I don't know you, don't just say hello and leave it hanging out there.
Agreed. Yeah. If you're trying to talk to me, then okay, you start with hello, but continue the sentence to whatever subject you want to talk about.
Exactly.
That'd be extremely difficult or annoying if you work in an environment where you get lots of team messages.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to go through them just to say, is there something important? And having this noise show up in the midst of important messages would, absolutely be annoying.
Not to mention it robs me of the ability to decide whether or not I want to respond at all, because then once you respond hello, then you've sort of opened up the door to have a conversation that you may not want to even have. But if you knew the topic ahead of time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
On that message, one of the things that annoys me a bit when someone is messaging me with Teams, talking about Teams again, a chat message with multiple topics, and then he has or she has multiple messages. If I want to reply, and we say reply back, and then okay, which topic I'm gonna reply back in the same message. I always like to, if you're talking to multiple topics, send multiple messages. That way I can reply back to that message. Or the opposite is like one topic, multiple messages, like, hi, can I do that? And then enter, and then send message. And like it would be like 7, 8 messages for the same topic instead of a paragraph.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good one too.
For me, it's since we're focused on Teams to start, for me, one thing that I think is important from an etiquette perspective is remembering that context is important to communicating clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I think people forget that, when we're communicating on tools like Teams, especially something that's kind of chat-based, people forget often that context is important for me to understand what you're asking. And I'll often get requests without enough context to know what the message means. It's not just hello, like your case, Sarah, but it's something, but just not enough context, or using acronyms, or I have to ask, what does that mean? Lots of times I receive messages where I have no idea what someone's asking because they just haven't included enough context.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One thing, I think it has gone down quite a bit, but in the early days of the pandemic, being on Teams calls all the time, being at home, is not muting yourself. And while you're on Teams calls.
Yes.
Yeah.
And having a second conversation with your kids at home, or doing a bio break and keeping your mic on.
We have all been there, or you're in the office and somebody's talking on the phone and they're like one stall away and you're like acutely uncomfortable. Yep.
Yeah, mute yourself all the time.
Mute yourself.
Yeah. I think remembering that etiquette of muting yourself in certain circumstances is important, again, for just, clear communications and, people's time being productive and respecting other people when they are communicating.
Yep.
100%. One that in email, it can be very difficult, although Copilot really helps to be able to summarize. But when they send you a very long message with no capitalization, no punctuation, and here's why. Yes, I have a degree. I'm an English major, right? And a librarian, but it's not the grammar that bothers me, but I can't scan it. And if it's a long message, sometimes I like to, speed read to get an impression of what it is before I dive in. And if it's got no caps or no grammar, I can't speed, and it's all one paragraph, I can't try and scan it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Or super short message, you ask something and the response back is like a 3 letters word, like yes. Like yes for what?
Yeah. Yeah. Or the thank you emails. Here's this thing you asked me for, and you get an email reply back. Thank you. It's nice, it's polite. I like that too, but sometimes when you receive a lot of those, it just kind of, when you're trying to manage your inbox, which some of us at least try to do, not Mike.
Yeah.
They do kind of create, again, more noise for you to sort through.
Yeah, one of the things that I've been converting over to doing in the last year is using the emoji icons. So doing a heart or a thumb or
exactly.
a thumbs up instead of saying thank you. So that way, if they pay attention to those, they can see them. But if they ignore them, then it kind of is ignored.
Correct.
Now, do you do those in email, Sarah, or just in chat?
I do.
Oh,
in
okay.
Teams
Same.
too, but in email, instead of replying back and saying thank
Exactly,
you,
I do
I'll
that a
thumbs up or give it a heart, the
Yeah, I
email
do.
that they sent me. So that way, if they pay attention to those emoticons, I think what I call them,
Yeah.
if they pay attention, then they'll see it.
Cool.
Yeah, I do that. I use that all the time. It saves a reply.
Yeah.
One thing I was bad at, and I stopped doing it until Copilot came back and showed up, is doing emails late at night. So doing emails late at night, sometimes you're tired. The context is not, you're not relaying the message properly, or you need to send it. I've done it where I sent not good emails. I'm not saying bad emails, but really was not worded properly. And then Copilot helps a lot. So that's something to avoid if you can do, unless you have
And I
Copilot.
think you can use Viva Insights as well to be able to say, queue these up and send them during working hours. So that way the next morning when you're out getting your coffee, it'll send them for you.
Correct.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Kind of piggybacking off that, Mike. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but I have over the last few years gotten better at not sending super long emails, especially when they're technical topics or sensitive topics.
Yeah.
It is easy for some people to write a big long email explaining something. And often in those cases, I've learned that the kind of core message gets lost, or it's just too long and people don't read it, right? They open up an email and they see something that's, 5 pages long. You're like, boy, I'll come back to it later. And they just never read it. Yeah. So making emails more consumable, digestible reading so that it, you don't have to book an hour in your calendar to read a single email. I think that's, I'm not sure if it's etiquette, but it's a better way to communicate.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I like that Viva Insight comment you made, because back in the days before that, I used to always talk to the people I work with that if I'm sending a late email, sometimes you set the expectations if you're a manager, and then maybe they expect to reply back late at night. So I used to send that tone that if I'm sending email late at night because I'm just trying to catch up, but Viva Insight, that helps a lot, that you don't have to do that.
Yeah. Another one that I'm going to say this, and Antonio, I'll be so disappointed if you don't make a face, but people who are on vacation and then you see them green in Microsoft Teams drives me nuts. I'm like,
Alrighty.
my team, if I see you green on Teams, I'm like, at least if you're going to check Teams, if I check Teams while I'm on vacation, I will go and manually set my status to appear out of office. Because I think it sends a vote of no confidence to my team if they see me green on Teams when I'm on vacation, because it may make them feel like I don't trust that they've got this. If I log into Teams while on vacation, I manually set my status to appear offline or out of office.
I like that.
I don't know anybody that does that or doesn't do that, Sarah.
Wink, wink.
Conversation. And it didn't go well for me then either.
Point taken.
But if you're going to do it,
Touché.
at least cover your tracks.
Yes. Fair.
One thing I learned, if you receive an email and it upset you, don't reply back right away.
Yes.
Take your time, ignore it for whatever, a day, few hours. Because replying back in a tone where you're upset, it's not going to do you good.
Yes.
That's a great suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Sit on that for a while.
Yeah.
And run it through Copilot and ask Copilot to help neutralize the language.
Good suggestion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It
I
took me a long
think
time to
that,
learn that.
yeah, sometimes I think that would just be helpful. I would not mind a feature that I could turn on or off where Copilot kind of watched my emails and just auto-suggested tone things, because sometimes I think I may come off as a little short.
Never.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Don't know what you're talking about, Sarah.
You might not, but Mike sure does.
I know
I
exactly what you're
I
talking
do. I have witnessed.
You've
God for
witnessed it
Copilot.
too, Antonio. You've gotten
I
it.
have. Oh my goodness. Yes, I've experienced.
So
I know, that's a great one. I used to actually have a friend that had a 5-minute delay on every single email he sent, exactly for that reason, in case he hit send and then regretted sending it, and he could go, call it back and edit it. He had 5 minutes, a 5-minute window.
Oh, wow.
I tried that at one point for my own emails. It just drove me crazy, so I turned that off. But I love the idea of Copilot suggesting tone proactively. I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, but I think that's what you're saying. It'd be nice if Copilot could proactively suggest tone.
yes. And that on days when you're open to it proactively suggesting tone, you can have it on. In days when you are not into having it provide you that feedback, turn it off.
Yeah.
Like an easy toggle. I think that would be a great feature.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Just like there are some days where I may want Teams to tell me if I'm being extremely profane on a Teams meeting, but then there are other days that don't bother because it's not going to get better.
Exactly.
I do my best to keep this podcast PG-13 rated.
Yeah. If you hear a very silent, that's one of them. Just hiding. What else?
Other than I have a question for you, Sarah, for the one that you brought up a moment ago. Other than when you're on vacation, putting your out of office team status on, are there other times where you rely on team status? Like, do you trust and rely on the team status, and does that lead to any etiquette scenarios?
I've definitely heard of managers and leaders that watch team status indicators to see who's away and who's working as some kind of a trace to validate that people are putting in a solid work day. I think that's awful. But no, I don't really look at that otherwise. I do pay attention to do not disturb. I think that using do not disturb is a great one. I oftentimes find that I think about do not disturb in hindsight of when I should have set it up, because if I'm trying to focus, and then things come in and I feel like I have to respond, I can get frustrated with that. And I should have, in hindsight, just put up my do not disturb.
Yeah.
So that way
Yeah.
people could understand that I need to focus.
I do the same thing. Well, if I see the status of a person do not disturb, I don't message at all. Because I'm disturbing them, whether that person is presenting or you're trying to focus on your work. I just never do. I try to avoid a bit if someone has the busy icon on. But sometimes it's not true, right? Sometimes they are in a meeting. They're supposed to be in a meeting, but they're not in a meeting, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I wait a bit.
Yeah.
Although I find that's a great point, Mike. Like, although I find it annoying when people message me a lot and I have the busy status on, but I do the same to other people, right? Because it's hard to trust 100% the busy status or in a meeting status. It's not always correct. Do not disturb. Certainly do try to respect that. And I experienced similar to what you said, Sarah, where in hindsight I should have put do not disturb on. But I am getting better at that. I am thinking about it more often to put do not disturb on if I'm going to present an important presentation or I just need focus time.
Yeah, I think that's an etiquette thing I strive to get better at for myself and setting, and that's just a healthy boundary setting thing that I wish I was better at in the moment.
Yeah.
I think that these are good. Everybody is going to have different etiquette things that they prefer or that they don't prefer. But I think it's good to have authentic dialogue about that. I don't prefer that Mike has a workflow running to auto delete my emails from his inbox.
Yeah. I should change that and sends you back a reply back. It has been auto deleted.
Antonio auto sends me a message back. I sincerely care about your message. I'm going to read it as soon as I can. That's how that would go.
Really, I would be deleting it.
Any last etiquette conversations or etiquette tips for M365?
I think it just comes down to respecting other people's time and kind of the fact that other people are busy. And yes, you do need to work and collaborate with other people, but providing them the right information to do that in terms of context, respecting when they are busy or that they could be busy, and just making your messages clear and easy to digest. I think all of that is important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think good etiquette is about, at its core, that kind of thing.
I agree. Perfect. Well, lovely episode. We've been having a lot of guest presenters on M365 Voice, I want to say, in the last month and a half or 2 months. Yeah. So it's nice to have an episode back to the three of us, but then I think we're going to bring in company again for some future episodes. So we hope to see you on another episode of M365 Voice soon. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.